Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers, come here, please. Come here. واحد ready? Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وألحقنا بعبادك الصالحين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Inshallah, we continue with the questions about Ramadan. Inshallah, he will ask, I will answer. If you also have any question, you can inshallah ask me. If you didn't understand any answer of mine, you ask me again, inshallah. Don't hesitate. Okay. Using perfume in Ramadan, day of Ramadan, is it allowed or not? It's allowed, inshallah. But for like the total image of fasting, focus on this point. Total image of fasting, better to refrain from using that. But it's not haram, it's okay, you can use it. Your fasting is okay, inshallah. But for total image as fasting, as like getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and leaving everything, food and drink and everything, better to refrain from using perfume. Even though it's allowed, inshallah, no problem. But this for men. Outside the house, perfume are allowed for men only, not for women. So women are not allowed to use perfume outside the house. Inside the house for her husband is okay, inshallah, but outside is not allowed. Skin cream during fasting also is okay, inshallah, no problem. There's no any problem to use any like skin cream for like as a day of Ramadan, no problem, inshallah. Next.
Bleeding from your body during fasting.
Okay. This have some like explanation. If some person bleeding from his like hand, from his leg, or for example, even from any part of his body from outside, not from inside. Outside is okay, his fasting inshallah is acceptable, no problem. But as I mentioned yesterday, if someone bleeding from his mouth and the blood enter inside, this is the problem. So if it's from outside, no problem inshallah. But if the blood is from inside and enter his like throats, as this case, his fasting is unacceptable and he have to repeat the fasting again, qada, after Ramadan.
Doing the blood test using a needle during fasting.
Blood test, just taking, yes, is okay inshallah. Blood test is okay inshallah, no problem. So if you go into the hospital and you need to take a blood test, no problem inshallah, it's okay. But on one advice, taking blood from your body making you more weaker. So if you do it in the day of Ramadan, it may cause that your body become like weak and you will be forced to eat. In this case, if you know yourself, because everyone know himself, we are not same actually. Every person like has his own body, he understands what his weakness point and powerful point. If you are okay in any cases to take blood from yourself in day of Ramadan and you will not get weak, is okay inshallah. But if you know yourself that you get dizzy and like you will get weak and maybe you fear from the injection and all these things, and finally it will have a result that you will eat and breaking your fasting, then in this case don't do blood test and do it at night, not in the day of Ramadan.
Being unconscious due to anesthesia from Fajr to Maghrib.
Okay. In this question, you understand it? Brothers, is okay inshallah, understand it? Being unconscious because of like using that kind of, you see? Anesthesia. If from like Fajr time until, for example, before Asr, 1 hour. And then he wake up, he became conscious. In this case, his fasting, inshallah, is okay. But from Fajr time until Maghrib, Maghrib is already done. In this case, his fasting is not acceptable, and he have to repeat after Ramadan 1 day qaza.
Doing the X-ray scan during fasting.
Okay. Many of us, may Allah like protect all of us, sometimes we need to make X-ray and some test in the hospital. In this case, and focus on this point, if it's just normal X-ray, just normal, is okay. But sometimes the doctor asks you to drink some medicine to show what is inside, or drink, like, if it's either it's normal medicine dry, or drink some medicine to show what's inside. In this case, your fasting is not acceptable. You will have to repeat again after Ramadan. But if it's just normal X-ray without any drinking any medicine, is okay, inshallah.
If someone missed 2 Ramadans, what should he do?
Okay, this mas'ala have like 2 opinions. First opinion, we call it al-jumhur, like Malikiya and Shafi'iyya and Hanabila. They said the person who like lose more than 1 Ramadan, so he has qaza, and that qaza already passed more than 1 year. So from this Ramadan until next Ramadan, he didn't make any qaza, although he must make some qaza. For example, let's say 1 week. He did it like without any reason, just because he's lazy. Because if he have a reason, this is another issue. But without any excuse, he delays the qaza until next Ramadan. In this case, he must repeat this qada and pay kafara also. Pay kafara. In every day he lost, he have to pay money and make qaza at the same time. But for Ahnaf only, they say no. He just make qaza without kafara. So you have those 2 opinions based on your mazhab. So for Ahnaf, just repeat the day without qaza. But for every other mazhab, Malikiya and Shafi'iyya and Hanabila, say he must pay like qaza, like must pay money, fidya, with qaza. Why? Because he delay without any excuse. That's why he must pay.
If someone has to do qaza for Ramadan but dies.
Okay. This question, if someone, for example, he was sick, and after Ramadan directly, he passed away. So he couldn't make the qaza. And this like word is very accurate, very accurate. He in Ramadan was sick, he couldn't fasting Ramadan. After Ramadan directly, he passed away. He couldn't make any qaza. In this case, no problem, and focus on this point, because he didn't have the chance to make the qaza. The second case, if after Ramadan he already have time to make qaza, but he didn't, and he passed away. In this case, his family, like for example, if the father, may Allah like protect all our fathers, inshallah, if the father or mother or some like the main relatives passed away and they have qaza, in this case you have 2 options as a son, as the closest relative. Either if you will make fasting on his behalf or her behalf, or to pay fidya from his money, from the inheritance. In every day he lost, you will pay for 1 poor person like just 1 meal. So again, you have 2 options. Either if you can make the fasting on the behalf of your father or the person, the closest relative for you. If he lost, for example, 10 days in Ramadan because of sickness or whatever, big reason. After Ramadan, he passed away, but he has time to make qaza, but he didn't. He passed away. In this case, you can make qaza on his behalf, to make fasting on his behalf. If not, you have 2 options, and it's not obligatory to make the first option. You can choose. Alhamdulillah, it's very open, very nice, so you can choose whatever you like. Either fasting on his behalf, or to pay on his behalf as kafara from his own money inheritance. If he doesn't have, it will be from your own money, inshallah.
If someone has to do qaza for his fasting, should he do
In general, qaza after Ramadan, mustahab, not obligatory, mustahab to do it continuously. Mustahab, not obligatory. So you can choose if you can make it like separate or at once. It's up to you. But this qaza is for a person who broke his fasting for excuse, عذر, reason. What about a person, for example, he ate and drank in the day of Ramadan without any excuse? His qaza must do 2 months continuously without even breaking one day. For example, if he fasts until 50 days, then day number 51, he breaks his fasting, he must repeat again from the beginning as a punishment. It's not easy. Because he did a crime and is big sin, is major sin, to eat or drink in Ramadan intentionally, without any excuse. So his kafara is very, very tough. So in this case, he must repeat again. But in normal, if someone was sick, doctors say you mustn't like fasting this day, you have to break your fasting. After Ramadan, he can make it separately, no problem. But mustahab is better to do it continuously, is better. Even though if you want to make it separately, it's okay, inshallah, no problem.
If someone is doing qaza fasting and they make suhoor, they have the intention to do the qaza, but then in the daytime they decide, I'll stop, I'll just eat, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay. Basically, if some person lost some days in Ramadan, after Ramadan he make qaza. He made his niyyah, his intention to make qaza. He made sahur. We call it in English sahri. Sahri, right? Sahri, yeah. So in Arabic, sahur. So he made sahur. He have the intention until maybe like Zuhr or Asr time. He's fasting, alhamdulillah. Then he just changed his mind. He's saying, no need to continue. I can make it later. In this case, it's haram to break his fasting. It's not joke. So even in qada time, if a person doesn't have excuse, doesn't have uzr, doesn't have something important to force him to break his fasting, he's not allowed to break his fasting. So it's actually same level as Ramadan itself, qaza. He mustn't break his fasting unless if he really have a real excuse.
If a woman needs to do qaza, should she take permission from her husband?
Okay. For women in Ramadan, she don't need any permission from anyone because Ramadan is obligatory, is one pillar of Islam. Like fasting is pillar of Islam. There is no any permission. But after Ramadan, she have 1 year until next Ramadan to make qaza. For example, the 1 week of period time in every month. So in the normal case, she needs the permission of her husband. If he with her in the house. Sometimes he's traveling, there is no problem in this case. But if he in the house with her, maybe he need her, maybe he needs some like whatever relation, so she need her like his permission. Can I make like today fasting? If he say yes, okay, inshallah. Anything else? Okay. Anyone have any question, inshallah? Okay. Please. Yes, shower is okay in Ramadan, but if you are 100% sure that there is nothing will enter from your ears, your nose, your mouth. If you are sure 100%, okay, inshallah, no problem.
And I want to ask that while traveling,
Oh,
like you're traveling in a car,
okay,
or in a ship, or on a plane.
yeah.
So is it okay to skip the siyam, or you have to keep it?
I explained that, I think 2 days ago.
Sorry, I was
No problem, no problem. Of course, you can ask again and again and again, no problem. You don't say sorry. You need to ask again, no problem, inshallah. This case, focus with me. If you traveled before Fajr or after Fajr, so before Fajr, you already muftar, you already eating and drinking. So you left the city while you are muftar. So in this case, while you are traveling, you can break your fasting, no problem, before Fajr. If after Fajr, you already wake up and you make sahur and you make fasting already, and maybe after like maybe 7 o'clock or like after Zohr, you say, I will travel. In this case, you should continue your fasting. But even though the scholar said if you have really like serious excuse and feel dizzy in the traveling and become sick, you can also break your fasting, and again after Ramadan inshallah you can make qaza inshallah. Any other question? Any other question, brothers? Is okay inshallah? Inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم. ان شاء الله tomorrow inshallah we continue our questions. جزاكم الله خير.